What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Walks Up Front. Arne Slot has been sacked by Liverpool Football Club yesterday. Announcement made by the club itself, and obviously, as a Liverpool fan, I had to make a quick video to share my thoughts and opinions. I also have a few stats for us. Let's get straight into it. So, how do we go from this to whatever happened this season, Um, First of all, I just wanted to say thank you to Arne. I'm gonna take this moment and express my gratitude, my appreciation to him for winning us number 20 last year. There were many great moments um, throughout last season, and it was just special. Um, Yeah, looking back, it was great, and I really enjoyed every moment of it, especially the celebration after winning the league, the game versus Spurs when we clinched it, and of course last season with the trophies and the fans and so on. Really great moments that will forever stay in the history as well. He lives as a Premier League champion. He's always going to be in the history books as a champion in both Liverpool history and the Prem as well. So, yeah, thank you, Arne. But it was time for us to part ways. He did lose the players this year, the dressing room, and eventually lost us, the fans, with the poor results, as we'll see in a moment. So yeah, first, like I just showed my gratitude and appreciation to him. Um, yeah, he had very difficult moments throughout his 2 seasons here at the club. Of course, coming in after the great Jurgen Klopp is not something easy to do, and at the time it seemed like the transition was done seamlessly. You know, everything was a good fit, and it was done properly. Jurgen did help a lot by singing Slot's name in his farewell game, and then Arne leaned on on that structure built for him and did what he did last year, won us the league. Um, he didn't make any changes, only a few tactical tweaks which help, and then he had to deal with the contract talks last year, the Verge, Mo, Trent. We did lose Trent at the end of the day, but he dealt with those contract talks perfectly well because he was being bombarded with questions week after week after week until the end of the season, until they were both confirmed. And then this year, whatever happened between him and Mo, losing the players, so he dealt with those. I wouldn't say perfectly this year, but in a good manner. And I should have mentioned this first, but whatever happened, the unfortunate news of Diogo during the summer was dealt in the most humane way as possible by Arne. It was a tough situation as well for everyone, mentally and emotionally, so he dealt with those well, I would say. He was w- well spoken, I should say. But yeah, things went south this year in terms of results, in terms of gameplay. Um, he lost the connection that he was building with us, the fans, as well. Last year, it seemed like he was trying to build a connection, and there was something between us, the way he leaned on whatever Jurgen built and the way he sang Jurgen's name after we league. It seems like um, he was the one for us, right? He was a good fit. We could see him. He tried to mask his emotion during games, but we as fans enjoy moments that he had versus Everton, for example, when he got red carded and whatever he said to Michael Oliver. We enjoy a coach who is fighting with us, as Liverpool fans, like who shows emotions because we are a very emotional club and emotional fans. We need something to bite on to be behind the teams, and we enjoy that. I remember the game where, we were losing, I think, 2-0 versus Arsenal, and there was an argument between Trent and Xhaka, and Trent woke us up, and we came back and drew the game, or the one between Arteta and Jurgen, and we beat them 4-0 or 4-1, something like that. So we are that type of club. We need that emotion. And this year there seemed to be a further disconnect. Slot seemed to be a different person himself with less emotion. Of course, he showed the emotions when his job was on the line, versus Galatasaray or whatever those games that were deemed a must win. That's when he showed the emotions. But on the bigger picture, he seemed cold, distant with both the players and us, the fans, and that's not someone who we want as a Liverpool coach. We want someone who shows emotion, right? Because that's us, that's who we are. And in terms of football itself, last year we still had that heavy metal type of football with some tweaks that he made where we played in a more conservative way. It's like we slowed heavy metal football, which helped the team in different ways and winning us the league. But this year it's the complete opposite. We were too conservative, too pessimistic, I would say, with our football. Too many back passes. Um, Not enough directness. Us Liverpool fans, the way I'm gonna be biased again and referring to Jurgen. But that's how the team has been playing for many different years, even prior to Jurgen. I'm not gonna talk about the Roy Hodgson era or the Benitez era, but think about it: the greatest Liverpool teams were always on the front foot, were always direct. I know I haven't watched the Kenny Dalglish, the Jan Rush, but John Bones and so on. But when those players were playing, they were quick, they were direct, they were decisive in their actions, right? It's not like a conservative football where we are just playing between our defenders, just Van Dijk passing to Konate, passing to Kirkers, and then back to Alisson and so on, not like that. So we miss that directness. Of course, we'd appreciate some control because when you have a ball, you're less likely to concede, but we still conceded 75 goals this year and we had more possession. We had about 60% possession. Like, what do you mean, It doesn't make sense to be that conservative and then you're still conceding. What are you doing? I'd rather be direct, scoring goals, and then if you concede one or two, it's fine. But it wasn't there. Even if you think about the Brendan Rodgers 2013-14 season, the most memorable one, we were direct, we were decisive. It's like, okay, we'll concede two, but we'll score three, we'll score four, we'll always score one more than you. This year we're scared. It's like, you know, I don't know what that is, but yeah, difference in gameplay. It was too boring. That's the word. Boring football we were playing. There was nothing in it. We were just recycling the ball, and yeah, it wasn't exciting to watch. And that's how he lost us, the fans, as well. Because the bad results don't help. If you play like that and you win, yes, but you're not winning games. What are you doing? There's no tactical display, whatever. In his first year, he showed us how good he was tactically, making changes. I remember the first game against Man City, we won 2-0. He made three different tweaks in the first half to negate Haaland, you know? And then this year, it's so predictable. Like whenever we go behind, you know he's gonna remove Konate to put on Chiesa. To do what? I don't know. Like in the last 5 minutes, we're already down two. It doesn't make sense. And he himself seems to be a different person, as I was saying. Last year he said only losers uses excuses, and this year he's been using too many excuses. Injuries, blaming this or that, XGs creating chances, the refs, and even in his press conferences, like, how can a Liverpool coach say that, oh, we only conceded four against Villa at Villa Park, but hey, we scored two? You know, you should be happy that we scored two at Villa Park, but yo, we conceded four. Like, what do you mean? You know? So, yeah, so comments like that, there were many more comments. I remember in one of his first conferences as a Liverpool coach, he said that he enjoys coaching and playing against low blocks. But this year he's like, oh, everyone is playing low blocks against me, so I can't play my football. I can't play the football that I want because of the low blocks. What do you mean? Like, you just made a 360 turn. It's like, eh, you like low blocks or do you not like low blocks? You said you like it, and now you're saying you don't like it? You said you wanted low blocks because that's where you can showcase your qualities. And then when you get it, it's like, oh, I don't want that. So, different different personality. He seemed too cold and distant this year. And yeah, the stats shows it. So I have a few stats right here. Um I'm just gonna do a combined one. So to a combined one isn't the combined one is decent. 113 games, 66 wins, which is about 58%, 18 draws, 29 losses. Overall, it seems a good tenure, a decent one. But as you can see, it started very good, started great, but ended poorly. And we can see the difference per season. First year, 56 games, all competitions, which is and he had 38 wins, which is about 68% win, only 9 losses, 2.2 points per game. Amazing. Longest unbeaten streak, 24 games unbeaten right here, with only 3 draws. That's what we call an unbeaten streak. When you're just winning and you have like one or two draws here and there, That's how it should be. Not like this. We still had a 13 game unbeaten right here, but we are drawing game after game. That's not an unbeaten streak to me because 4 draws is about 8 points dropped, which is pretty much 3 defeats when you put things into perspective. That's not an unbeaten. And then this year, compared to last year, 38 wins to 28, 10 wins less, 11 more defeats, 1.63 points per game. That's awful. That's like a second half stable team, you know? Most coaches get sacked right here. Actually, most would get sacked here after losing 6 games in 7. But we gave him the benefit of the doubt because he won the league. And here we thought it's gonna improve, but so many draws and still no improvement in gameplay, and then it went bad again. So when you think about it, after the current season, no one, especially when you're at a big team like us, Liverpool, or any of the other big teams, when you have a season like this, no one survive this. You just can't. It's too bad of a season. Like when you compare that, it's not great. So you see. the two timeline, the first year started really good, but then the signs and how we play started. You might argue that from here we've already won the league, but it's the standards, right? It just kept on carrying on. So we started well. This is the Community Shield, so if we ignore the first game, 7 win on the bounce, but the signs were there. We still looked disjointed. We were conceding goals, and my bad. Here, that's better. So this is the comparison I was showing. Um, we can ignore the Community Shield game here, and then 7 goals, 7 wins on the bounce, but we still looked disjointed. This is a great start. But once the league got confirmed around here, we started playing bad, which you can argue the league was won, but standards, right? It doesn't matter if you won the league. You're playing a game, it affects your stats, your history, and you want to have good stats, right? So you need to win the games, even if the league title is set and done. It's just the momentum. And that just carried on throughout the season. I would say the sign started around here when we lost the League Cup final, and then kept on getting worse and worse. Even those wins, we looked really bad in hindsight, you know, and it showed off. It's like, how long could this was looked? Everyone was saying we got lucky, but I was denying. I was like, good teams, the great teams find a way to win, which we did. But then, boom, run out of luck, and this took over. And if we were to do the comparison, so pretty much the same amount of games both season, 56, 57, it's the same. Won the league, went to the League Cup final, round of 16 in the Champions League. This year, went to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, quarterfinals of the Champions League, clinch Champions League spot, fifth. But when you think about it, 38 wins, went to 28, a big drop off. Draws stayed the same, losses 11 more losses this year. Win percentage dropped from 68 to 49. That's about a 20% drop, and losses more than doubled, 16% loss to 35. Longest win streak is the same, so there's this period where we won 8 on the bounce and then 7, but the 7 games we won this year doesn't mean anything since we were playing awfully bad. And the 24 unbeaten games that I was saying consist of a few draws, but the draws are spread out, right? In the first season, that's a real unbeaten streak compared to this one. This, to me, shouldn't even be considered an unbeaten streak, but it's one as per definition. And then points per game drop from 2.2 to 1.6. That's all competition actually. So if we were to do Premier League only, um, side by side, here we go. That's the Prem only. 84 points to 60. A drop off of 24 points in the league. Went from 2.21 points per game, 1.5. 1.5 is a second half table team, but we somehow clinched the Premier League. Draws the same, 25 wins to 17 wins. We won 8 games less, which is 8 more defeats because the draws are the same. See, 12 games lost this year. The last time Liverpool lost 12 games in a league was about 15 years ago. And we can see the drop off in percentages right here. longest unbeaten run, 26 unbeaten run. That's from here to here. That's a real unbeaten run, whatever that is right here. And this shows the drop off as a team too. Goals per game. We were scoring 2.3 goals per game in his first season to only 1.7. Big drop off. Big chances created per game. We were creating 4 big chances per game in his first season, and then it dropped off to 2.6. You know, of course, if you're not creating as many big chances, you won't be missing as many big chances. But if you think about it, 2.6 big chances created per game and missing 1.7, you're pretty much missing the same big chances that you were creating. And then shots per game, we're taking 17 shots per game on average in the first year compared to 15, so a drop off there as well, which of course would mean a drop off in shots on target as well. This is the most annoying one for me, the counter attacks. In the first year when we had the Darwin, the Lucho, the Diogo, it was like, and the Mo, of course, it's like the red arrows flying. That's what we are known for, Liverpool, the red arrows flying when the opponents has counterattacks. We were doing 76 counterattacks in the season compared to only 57 this year. So that's a huge drop of about 20 less, which is bad. You could argue because we had more possession, but it's about the same 58, 59. That's the same amount of possession that we had in his first year compared to this year. It's just that when we could have counterattacks, we don't have the speed because we lost the Lucho, we lost the Darwin, we lost Yogo. We don't have the same speed, the same directness. Like Gakpo is just not that. He doesn't have that speed, and Ekitike doesn't have the speed. Isaac has been injured all season, so it's only Mo, and Mo lost a little bit of speed, even if he's the quickest on the team. And many times I saw during game, I've noticed that when we could have had a counter attack, players like Dominic Szoboszlai or Gravenberch would just do a back pass and end it there because they want control. Like, why do you want control when you're still conceding goals? You know? Like, goals conceded, we only conceded about a goal per game to 1.5 now. We had 14 clean sheets compared to 10 only this year. We were more aggressive. We were doing about 17 tackles per game to win balls back compared to 13 only. We were doing 8 interceptions per game compared to 7 only. Recovering more balls, 49 to 45. And we made more errors that led to a shot this year. So we lost aggressivity in our defensive game by losing the players like Darwin, Lucho, Diogo. I'm not saying we shouldn't have replaced them. It was time to part ways, but we did lose that thing. Like, we didn't upgrade on them, at least not just yet. Or maybe it's the tactical tweaks or the way he wanted to play to be more conservative. But we have the same amount of possession that we had in his first year. So there's something that went wrong. And it's the same midfield, but we don't have the same pressure, the same aggressivity because, as I mentioned, those Darwin players, say whatever you want about him, but he was a runner, he was a workhorse, even Lucho. Um, so yeah, that's some of the stats and how different we were this year compared to last year. It could have been different, but something went wrong in the tactics, and yeah, it wasn't just a Liverpool type of play. Um, it's not the Liverpool playing style that us the fans wanted to see, and that led and it's not what the players wanted to, because he did lose the dressing room. Many players came out in regards to the tactics. McAllister came out. Everyone is focused on whatever Salah is saying, but Maka came out, Curtis came out, and other players as well, saying too many changes, too quick, and they are not understanding what he wants. It seems like the coach, Arne himself, didn't know what type of football he wants to play, based on what he's saying in the press conferences, because he's saying he doesn't like the football himself, and if he doesn't like it, the fans won't like it. That's something he said. Well, he don't try to improve it. We showed zero improvement in a whole season. Um, so naturally, it was time for him to leave, you know? And yeah, and as I started my this video, I'm very thankful and grateful for Arne and this trophy he brought to us. The first year was very good, actually exceeded expectations, and then the second year was just below average, not even average. We somehow got the Champions League spot, but it was a poor season. You just cannot lose 20 games as a Liverpool team in this day and age. It just doesn't happen, especially with social media and so on. You just cannot do that. So yeah, thank you. I appreciate what you did for us, winning number 20, how you handled some off pitch stuff was good. I really thought that we were building a connection after the first season between us, the fans, and you, but you seemed distant and cold this year. We want us to be like the way you were last year versus Everton, show the passion, you know? We are not asking you to be Jurgen Klopp, we just ask you to show some emotions, show some passion that you care. It didn't seem like you cared this year. You didn't care when we lost a game. You didn't care about the results. Maybe you did, but that's not how it was seen by us, the fans, or by the players as well. And you see the players every single day, you know? If the news saying that you're giving players days off after a loss, it's not appealing to the fans, you know? You're not training, you're not. There was a lack of intensity, but again, I'm just dragging this on now. I just wanted to say thank you to Arne. Last year was great memories. I'm always gonna remember that year, and I'll try to forget whatever happened this year and remember you as a Premier League winner for us. Arne, we wish you all the best in your future endeavors. You're a good person. You're a good human. You're a decent coach, but just not in the Premier League or as a Liverpool coach, unfortunately. Thank you for Premier League and the different many moments. But yeah, it was time to part ways. Good luck to you. You'll do great in Syria, in my opinion. Or if you go back to Ajax, that would be decent as well. Um, yeah, but yeah, good luck in whatever you want to do moving forward. That's it from me. See you in the